Hey guys, Leona here with Empowering Wellness on week 3 of my interview series. I am so excited to be streaming this live into my Empowering Wellness Facebook group. If you have not had a chance to be able to join the group, make sure that you join us so you can see the rest of the series. I've got 3 more amazing people. It's so awesome to be able to get in close and touch personal with some people that have been members of this for a very long time and some that are just joining. So it's great to connect. I love connecting with high vibe, like-minded women and men. I'm going to have Cortland on here, my favorite practitioner, who is working magics on my foot. Thank you, Cortland. And tonight with Kristenne, she is a high ticket business mentor, entrepreneur, and conscious parenting coach, and a neurofeedback trainer. I'm really excited to be able to meet her and interview with her today. Supports mothers and parents to step forward into the highest versions of themselves. And I am, let's see, making sure that I'm spelling her name right to invite her in here. Invite. And all she has to do is bring them on camera, add, send invite. You just have to connect mothers and parents to step forward into the highest version of themselves. She provides services for healing and mindset, so well as mentorship to create financial freedom from families. She wants mothers and parents to know that we really can live great lives and have it all. So welcome, my dear. How are
Hi.
you?
Hi. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, same. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. Yes. And you
Great.
can hear me?
Yes. So everybody that is joining us live, please put hashtag live into the comments. And if you are watching our replay, make sure you put hashtag replay in there. And if you guys have any questions, if you're live or in the replay, make sure that you just place them right into the comments and we'll be able to get back to it. And then also Kristenne will be able to put all of her contact information, like a website, her upcoming um, passion projects that we'll be talking about into the comments so you can be able to follow. So I always say, let's go beyond the bio, right? So what are you passionate
Perfect.
about? And how did you get to where you are today?
Oh, goodness. Such a great question. I'm passionate about a lot of things. I am passionate about healing, about as human beings and our time on the planet and the things that we experience that we oftentimes need to heal from stuff. So I'm really passionate about my own healing journey as well as supporting other people to heal as well. I work mostly with women. I work with a lot with teens as well, especially teen girls. Um, and I love it. So yeah, it's super, super powerful. And I'm passionate about giving women more choices, that women have more choices in life to lead the kind of life that we want to lead, right? That we don't have to be in a box. We become more familiar with the thoughts and processes and the conditioning in our own mind that have kept us stagnant for so long, and that we can break open that box. And oftentimes women who do that are still in this day ostracized, criticized, right? And people look at them like, shame on you. And
Right?
I'm always celebrating those women. So because it's so important that we have role models that do that show us the ways that this can look as well. I'm passionate about families and children, that children can be brought up in an environment where it's healthy and supportive and loving and kind, which is not always easy, especially if we haven't. I'm a prime example, not growing up in an environment that was, well, it was pretty dysfunctional, I guess you could just say, quite simply. And so how do I create a loving, safe, caring environment for my own children? So I had to go on my own long, long journey to be able to do that because it was not imprinted on me. It's not always taught. It might be taught cognitively some places, but not everywhere. But to embody it, right? To fully embody how to have to set warm limits, to be playful, to, yeah, just to understand how to deliver our love in a way that really impacts our children, right? So that they truly feel it and they can become the incredible human beings that they are meant to be, right? I am so passionate about that as well. So those are a few things.
Yay, excellent. So what are some of the things that you do besides your, coaching and your programs and your offers? What are some of your favorite hobbies that you like to do?
Yeah, so I love nature. I absolutely love nature. So I spend a couple hours every day out in nature for sure, typically in the morning. And yeah, I run, I bike ride, I hike, I walk, I hang out with friends, I do all kinds of things. So I'm very passionate about being out in nature and enjoying it and living in the moment, living in that moment of nature. Because it's so healing. It gives us so much. Did you know that trees actually secrete an odor that supports our immune system from functioning better? Like, there's so much that nature gives us that they're just learning about, right?
Yeah, so much.
Um,
I love that finally science and energy work are all combining together in so many different ways and forms. And I tell
yes.
people, like earthing and grounding, it only can take, a few minutes to really reset your nervous system. And, if
Yeah.
you can't get outside, like I just had a foot surgery and I used a machine that had the PMF waves because I could put my feet on that even though I couldn't walk. And it's just so
Yes.
important to connect with nature and the grounding and the effects and the healings of it. So yes, that is huge that
Absolutely.
you're getting your health benefits from your hobby, which is great.
Yes, yes, I know. Yeah, and I even learned the other day, Dr. Huberman was talking about how the importance of in the morning getting natural light into your eyes. Don't wear sunglasses, get natural light into your eyes. Don't and it can't be through a window either. That you need to be outside with natural light. Like that will shift the chemicals in your body dramatically. And I'm like, well, I do that every day. That's great.
That's awesome. Yeah. Solar rays, getting that vitamin D is so important.
Yeah,
We just had our full moon. So moon bathing, all the things and embrace, a lot of,
exactly.
and I always say you don't know until you know. And then once you know, you can't unknow, and knowledge is
Right.
power. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
great little tips with
Exactly.
that.
Yeah,
So
and yeah,
what
I
are,
was just going to say too, I'm very much into
mhm.
health and
Oh,
wellness as well. So,
good.
in all areas, mental health and physical health and spiritual health and yeah, body, mind, spirit, I think are super, super important. And I spend a lot of time supporting myself in those ways.
Yeah, I think finally the awareness of understanding that it's not woo wooey, that it's actually like scientifically backed and there's
Like,
evidence and it's actually real
yeah.
medicine, like, the plant medicines to the actual, like getting the medicines from the rays and the suns and the things for our bodies, because our bodies were designed to have all of these elements. And then our lifestyles have created that we're inside all the time. So, yeah, what a great
Yeah.
reminder to get out, be in the sun, get that vitamin D, do that earthing, heal the body from the nature of the elements that are there so openly for us.
Yeah. We're
So
supposed to be
amazing,
outside 85% of the time, actually. That's what our bodies are made for.
right?
Just think about that. Wow.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even just a little bit of outside is better than none,
Nothing.
right? I
Yeah.
always tell people, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
if you can't make it for those many hours, at least, be able to do something. I always say something is better than nothing,
For
right?
sure. Yep, absolutely.
So what are some of the fun passion projects that you're working on right now that you can offer for the collective to hear about?
Yeah, so one of them is a mentorship. So yeah, one of the things that I do is I support women, mostly women, but we also work with men as well, to start and scale an online business. And so there's a group of us that have gotten together and we who are, have been in this business for a long time and we've really dialed in how to support people to start and scale an online business. And so we are offering, it's a free mentorship actually for those who join the
Amazing.
business model,
Hmm.
right? So it's really powerful to have this free mentorship for 30 days and lots of hand holding, lots of calls, lots of support. It's really linking arms and moving forward with what it is that you want to create, because each of us creates our own business model, basically, is how that works. And so we really link arms and support you in doing it in your own unique way. And it's really, really powerful. So
That's
um,
amazing. If you
very
guys have
excited
any
about that.
questions on that, make sure you put that into the comments, and then we'll also make sure we put that link for them to be able to follow you and get that information in there as well.
I love it. So good.
So, what would you say are like your ideal clients or people that you serve, and how do you serve them? Like, what's your target market?
Yeah, my target market is typically women who are, whose kids are either teenage or they're empty nesters, right? Similar to my case, my youngest daughter just moved away to college. So
Rad.
I'm in that space last week, in fact. So
Oh my goodness. How does that
so yeah,
feel?
it actually feels great. There's like, it's not an even road, right? But I'm going to see her on Saturday, actually. So that feels really good.
That's awesome.
So yeah. But yeah, my ideal client is, yeah, women who are, we've given so much of our lives and our time and our attention and our support to the family structure, to the social structures. And there's very few times in our lives that somebody has asked us, what do you want? What do you dream about? What do you want to create in your life? And that, I am so passionate about helping women to create something in their lives that really lights them up, right? And so, and now I'm sorry, I sidetracking from the question because I started thinking about my daughter. So
Yeah.
my ideal client, my ideal. So yeah, so it's women who are looking for their purpose, their next step in life, right? And where they want to go from here, and helping them to figure that out and get started in doing that.
That's awesome. So, talk about your family dynamic. You've got a daughter off in college, obviously, you're a mom. So,
Yeah,
how
I'm a
has
mom.
your family kind of dynamic worked with you and your life, and now your new passion projects that you're involved in? Because it sounds like that might have stemmed or created some of this process.
Yeah, without question, my life has very much been mirrored in who I am. So, which I love, I really love that. And so I am a mom being single. I have a son who's 21 and he lives about 10 minutes away. And then my daughter who just moved away to college. And so we're all trying to figure out, what does that look like when they're as adults, right? As three adults having conversation, and them learning about who they are, and me entering this new phase, learning about who I am in this new phase of life too. So but we're a very close-knit family. I've focused a lot on connection in our relationships as a foundation of my parenting style. And they're fun and crazy, and they bring me to my edge. Like teenagers often do. And they always, especially my son. I don't think my daughter's so much in a place of that yet, but my son is always asking me questions about my business, actually. And he's like, I want to learn more, I want to learn more. And so it's interesting, him going through this phase. And my daughter does my bookkeeping. So she's so yeah, we all contribute in some way or another.
That's amazing. And I'm sure that that contribution in your own experience that you have is something that you can then, since your target market is mostly moms, and that sort of like, developing in that, you can be able to bring your own experiences and what you're learning into possibly what could be helpful for your clients. For me, like going through a traumatic healing journey, I can relate to other people that are going through, healing journeys, and what I've learned, I can give them. So I'm
Yeah.
sure it's kind of a similar thing where you're kind of learning as you're going, and then having those skill sets and tools, then you can then offer that up for the clients and the people that are connecting with you.
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, I am just launching a program right now. It's called the duplication model,
Oh,
and it's really helping leaders to duplicate for their teams and for the people they work with what they've done to be successful. and I'm very excited about it. I've got my first two clients that I'm working with, and we're off to a really good start. And yeah, so lots of other side projects here, right?
That's awesome. Well, I always say, we don't always have to reinvent the wheel. We just have to be innovative with the wheel
Yes,
in our own way
exactly.
and put our own, spin and integration and experience and story into that,
Yes.
right? Because we all have a story of where we were and where we are now and where we're looking to, go. And yeah, that's amazing that you've been able to kind of feel and intertwine with that all together.
One of my skill sets is to really see a need. There's a need here that nobody is addressing, and then really coming up with, okay, I can figure out a way to support people to overcome this particular struggle and challenge. And it's something I've done a lot throughout my life. So it's been great.
Awesome. And so, how do you fill up your cup before giving to others? Have you ever been on a retreat before?
Yes, I've definitely been on a retreat. There's all kinds of things I do to fill up my cup. It's part of my daily, I mean, I start my morning every morning with meditation, gratitude practice. And then I go out in nature. I got clear that I need to take care of my energy first before I'm pouring out to everybody else. So that's how I start every day. But I also do things throughout the day. Like, it's not uncommon for me to take a nap and just do things that really support myself. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of retreats as well.
Do you have
Um,
one in particular that you can think of that you can share the experience with?
Well, I went to Costa Rica for an ayahuasca journey.
Yes. Uh-huh.
um, yeah, that was a week-long retreat that was magical. It was really, really magical.
And how many ceremonies in that week did you participate
There
in?
were three ceremonies, yep, and very intense. And I was women only. Like, I had never done plant medicine. I don't know why I decided ayahuasca first, but I
Same.
decided. Did you?
I didn't even know what it was when I first said yes to the retreat.
Yeah, it's funny. Not a lot of people did. I did know what to expect. And I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna go to the top. I'm just gonna do the biggest, baddest thing there is out there. I'm gonna do ayahuasca. I also knew one of the facilitators. Like, I had taken a course from her before when I was in Costa Rica another time, and I loved her. It was actually a combination of tantra
Oh,
and
yeah.
ayahuasca. So it was a tantra retreat and ayahuasca mixed together.
That's
So it
amazing.
was really beautiful to, like, yeah, we did a lot of work around the feminine during that whole process. And it was really an incredible experience.
So talk about deep diving into feminine energy so that makes sense that you would be so pulled and primarily working with women and empowering them because you had such a deep dive experience through it. Yeah, I didn't know what it was in the beginning, and I went in for 9 days and had 5 ceremonies in 9 days. And I didn't find out what I was getting into until 2 weeks before flying out. So
God,
that started my journey with the plants, and then I've tried a little bit of everything to see. And then what I found as a practicing shaman, what it spoke to me was cacao, because I feel like in this lifetime I'm learning to love and accept myself, and I'm wanting other people to learn how to love and accept themselves right where they are. And with cacao, it's such a heart opening, beautiful plant medicine that allows your heart chakra to feel all the love. And so
yeah,
when I did all the journeys, I was like, they all have their place and I can speak to clients about them, but
yeah.
I want to focus on cacao for me for servings.
Good for you. I love it.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
cool. It's a great one for sure.
Yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely. So I always tell people, a lot of people ask me, like, how did you get to do all these places? I've been to 107 countries, I have several different businesses, and, I'm creating now these destination wellness retreats and spiritual life coaching. I said, I've always said yes. And I've saved dates in advance. Like, I'm always like, save the date now. And then I'm like, and I always want to ask people, why do you think that is so important to save the date now? So when we're giving these offerings to people and you're giving this experience, or you have an upcoming workshop or retreat or event, why is it so important to you, you think, for yourself and for others to save the date now?
Oh, because, well, as women, we're very dynamic, and and that basically, saving the date is setting an intention, right? It's creating the spaciousness and setting that intention around, okay, I want to have space around this to create something beautiful for myself. And yeah, I think it's really important to save the date now.
Yeah. Yes. That's why I always say it's like saying your sacred yes now and telling the universe that this is what you want. And then it allows for all the doors and everything to open up for the energy to then go out so that you can then be in receiving and allowing everything to line up. I tell people, I'm like, save the date now for mid-July, summer of 26 for a Croatian retreat. And people are like, but that's so far away. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
but you need the money and the time and the things to go away to Europe for a whole week on a private yacht. You need to have your sacred yes now so that you can allow for everything to line up. You don't have to worry about the how now.
Yes.
It's
Right.
the allowing and the sacred yes to be
Yeah.
able to let that energy flow. And so I always love people's take on what the save the date means to them, because I feel like the same way. You're setting that intention, you're saying your sacred yes, and then you're allowing for that
Yeah.
receiving to come in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And retreats are
absolutely.
such a beautiful way to treat ourselves and support ourselves. And I mean, I really think that, every woman should have the possibility of a retreat, like at least twice a year, if not more, right? To support all that we give, how we serve people.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I tell people it's different than a vacation. A retreat, you actually feel retreated from. There's a recharge that
Yes.
happens, not a vacation where you need a vacation from your vacation. It's different.
Right. Right. Right.
It's completely different. So, if you could think about something that you've learned in your now that you could tell your younger self, woman, young teenage, kind of self, what would be some words of wisdom that you would tell the younger version of you, whether if that is in your, teenage years, because that's where your kids are now, or something even earlier? What would be some of those words of wisdom that you know now that you wish that you could have told yourself or knew those lessons then?
Yeah, that's great question. So I would say, you know what, everything's going to be okay. Number one. And then number two, I would say don't give up your freedom for anything. Do not ever, ever, ever sacrifice your freedom for anything. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. That is powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
a great question.
yes, I give everybody, so people that don't know, I give all my interviewees the list of questions, but I don't give them that because I want the authentic, in the moment, subconscious and conscious brain can't fight about it, and just the answer that needs to be given, because I think that's truly what all of a sudden we discover something about ourselves. Like, what does freedom mean to you? Like, what does freedom mean? Is that time freedom? Is that travel freedom? Everybody has a different meaning of freedom and what that
Yep.
means. And so I think that answering that question is something that I always allow people to say, like, maybe there's something more for you to even explore on that,
Yeah.
on how that could get you into a deeper level of healing or experience, or giving, solutions or answers for those that you're working with, that also might be something that's important for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Freedom is a big one for sure. And I feel like years ago, I set that aside to serve the people I was supposed to, I thought I was supposed to serve, right?
Right.
And I was conditioned to believe I couldn't have it all, that I had to do that. And I think I could have, it all turned out perfectly. It's all beautiful. I have a beautiful, amazing life, and I always have. Um, but it would have been nice if somebody would have told me that when I was younger, right? Like
Right.
nobody tells you that, hey, this is a value you get to have, and you get to fight for it, and you get to stand up for it. And I'll support you. I'll stand beside you, because a lot of times, actually, and I ran across this with my daughter a lot too, where if she was expressing herself in a harsh, in a not harsh way, but like in a really powerful way, say for example, she didn't want to see me, she wanted to see a friend of hers, and that hurt me. Well, I had to respect her freedom, right? And I also got to I also got to be the parent too. So you have to weigh all of that together, because there needs to be a balance there. But I really feel that I stood up for her freedom in her whole life, and I appreciate that that was my healing. That was part of my healing journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
So That, yeah, it's really, really, really powerful.
Yes. You get to parent that within
Yeah.
yourself, and then also as the parent role,
Yeah.
so that's amazing that you've been able to do that. So I hope that the people that are meant to come in your vibration that connect with you can learn those lessons of that freedom and that power and figure out what lights them up, because I can see in you when you talk about lighting it up in other people that it lights you up.
Right. Right. Definitely.
So like the next coaching program I'm going into is like unlock your genius. It's like igniting, your intuition and like your genius. And I think we all have that genius inside of us that needs to be unlocked and let out. And you have to find the right way, the right vibration, the right person to bring that to help unlock and get you into where you're going. So, and I just
Absolutely.
love other women empowering other women, because we have been quieted and silenced and pushed down and diminished and
Yeah.
for so long. So now we get to stand up tall and bright and powerful and in our power and support each other and have that support and have that freedom to show up authentically as
Yeah.
ourselves. So thank you for doing your work in the world. And I believe in the ripple effect of when we heal ourselves, that it helps that vibration around and that spreads it out. So I always tell people, one person, one event, one retreat at a time. I believe that I'm helping to heal the world. When I witness your healing and your journey, this witnessing, this interaction, this empowering you and your voice to tell your authentic story is part of that process of showing and sharing and having this connection of not the superficial, hi, what do you do? It's like, what are you actually passionate about? Like, what drives you? Like, let's get down to some of the deeper levels and have a real conversation. And that's what inspired this interview series. Was I just wanted to get to know people on a little bit deeper level and see what they were doing in the world, because I know there's great things that are happening and I can feel the shift, and it's
There
so great to
are.
have people out there that are doing the work for people in different ways.
I
So thank you.
love it.
Any
Oh my
last
God.
little
Beautiful.
offerings or things or words of wisdom before we conclude tonight, my dear?
Oh, wow. Well, I'm doing a master class on Thursday. If anyone's interested, on my private Facebook page, you can learn more about it. But I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm so excited to share. And this is what women do, right? We collaborate, we connect, we support one another, we give. I'm really just super, super grateful to be invited here today and be connecting with
Yay.
you.
Thank you. I'm glad you're part of my new Empowering Wellness group. And if you are watching this as a live on Facebook or a replay or on the YouTube later on in the channels, reach out to us, ask the questions, connect with us in Empowering Wellness. Let's have the real conversations. Let's support each other. Let's show up for ourselves, to show up for others, to witness each other in the healings, and make sure that women have a voice and that we are heard for all of the greatness that we have within us.
Love it. So good. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much. From my heart to yours, much light and love, peace, and namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste.